D. Mark. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Hey. What? You saying hello too? Dinor's saying hello too. Woo! Denore will not be silenzio. Silenzio, Denore. Silenzio. Silenzio, mi little Denore. Silenzio. No need to bark. No need to bark. There's no need. Those guys over there are just doing some yard work. They're cutting some trees up. Just leave them alone. Well, what's happening today? What's on the docket for today? I guess I could tell you guys about my night last night. It was an absolute fucking banger of a night. Went to bed. Like during, for those of you that were here last night, I did a pretty long stream last night. Didn't really intend it to be as long as it was, but it was long. And as I was sitting here, I slowly but surely became aware of a pain building in my lower back. And that's not abnormal, that's pretty normal. It's like a knot or whatever you want to call it, like just kind of like a tense area in my lower back. I went to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night and that shit was in full blown, like, I don't know how to put it. It was just, I couldn't breathe without it hurting. I couldn't move without it hurting. Laying down hurting. Standing up hurting. I got in the shower and just let hot water fucking hit it for like 45 minutes. Still in pain afterwards. Wandering around the house, I finally woke Amelia up and I was just like, dude, I need some help or something because I'm in fucking like major pain. Hurts to breathe. And so she fucking took her thumb and found the spot on my back and just like jammed her thumb into it, you know, and like rubbed as hard as she could. And that loosened it up enough to where I could like lay there and go to sleep. It was fucked. And this morning my back is just fucked. That's the worst part for me about getting old. It's not necessarily the implication of less life ahead of me. It's the slow but steady breakdown of my body and my capabilities. Whether it be not being able to drink as much, you know, which I really don't care about. Binge drinking is not a skill that I need to maintain for my whole life, but I mean, the idea that now alcohol affects me differently than it did 20 years ago is a little galling. It's a little hard to take. I don't go to chiropractors. I know some people are helped by them, but I don't trust that they're not going to do more harm than good to my back. It's damaged as fuck. I take care of my own back. I stretch it and I do everything I can for it on my own because I don't trust people to be cracking it and popping it and twisting it and stretching it and shit. I don't trust those doctors or those non-doctors, I guess. Go to the hospital. Yeah, good idea. It's the perfect time to roll into the hospital. I gotta be honest with you. If it wasn't the dead middle of fucking COVID and hospitals weren't overflowing with people dying of it, I would probably have considered maybe going to the hospital last night. Had your back surgery 2 years ago. You were a police brutality victim and nothing ever happened. Fuck, bro. They broke your back. That's fucked. Call 911 and have the police help. Yeah, that would have been great. My back hurts. Could you guys give me a massage? They're like, yeah, in prison. You'll get an internal massage in prison. There you go. Get on the ground, fool. I either want to die young or live forever. Being a lonely old man taking 20 minutes to piss every day sounds like a nightmare. Oh boy. Yeah, that does sound like a nightmare. I'm not there yet. I still piss as fast as I ever did, thank goodness. I don't have any prostate problems. I'm not quite old enough yet for that shit to rear its ugly head, but yeah. Where it's most noticeable for me is just in how like broken down my body has become by the labor that I did in the past. So I worked for a good solid 20 plus years of my life on my feet, running around, lifting, first at Starbucks, then at fucking the school district. A lot of lifting involved in both of those jobs, loading and unloading involved in both of those jobs. And a lot of long days, you know, sometimes in excess of 12 hours, just on your feet, running around, bending down, standing up, crawling underneath things. It left my joints a fucking mess. And a lot of that is, you know, my own fault being a fat fuck. But it really has left me in a position where I can't do the things I used to do when it comes to like lifting heavy things or spending all day helping somebody move. Like when we moved ourselves this time, I learned the hard way that like I'm gonna need to save up some money to pay some younger people to come out here and fucking load up my shit next time. Because even though I didn't have much of it, loading it into the fucking U-Haul and then unloading it out of the U-Haul was like a nightmare for me. It just kind of sucks. You just kind of have to like admit at some point that you, not that you're a total invalid or anything, but that you just can't do the shit that you used to be able to do. Not in the way that you used to be able to do it. And that's the shittiest part about getting old. Trying to see what they're cutting down over there. But I know KNC. I'm 28, worked for Toys R Us for a while as an overnight stalker, now working as a forklift operator sub outdoors. I could already feel the toll on me. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. Like it wears you down. Like you do 20 years of hard labor and shit. Not like, you know, it wasn't like I was busting concrete blocks, but 20 years running around, stooping, bending, lifting on your feet all the goddamn time. Your knees, like my knees are fucked. My hips are fucked. My back, above all, and neck are fucked. Sucks. They're cutting up that screaming person, maybe so. Yeah, all those years chasing that blue hedgehog, man. Building all those, who do you think built all those big giant machines that he constantly destroyed, you know? A lot of labor went into that shit. And then that fucking hedgehog comes along and just foils everything over and over and over again. Like I remember I had this great idea one time to catch all these animals and hide them inside these little tanks. And that fucking hedgehog would come along. He found every last one of those tanks, stepped on a button on the top, and let all the animals out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What a dick. What a total dick. I hate that fucking hedgehog. And all for coin, I know. Everybody calls him a hero, and he's just basically like a vulture capitalist. He just comes along and kills all my things and steals all the money that's laying around and all the natural resources and shit. He kills all my little robotic animals that I made to try and like save the ecosystem and shit. Yeah, and he steals all the rings. Yeah. All the natural resources of the world. I don't steal all the rings. When have you ever seen me collect one fucking ring? Never. I don't collect any rings. I leave them out there. All I'm trying to do is create some robotic life and let it out into the world, you know? I don't know. It's another one of those things where everybody's on the other side, you know, and I've just got to be another fucking enemy of the people. Because for some reason, people think that I'm the fucking bad guy in that situation. Whatever. Do you do yoga? No, I don't do yoga. What are your thoughts on industrial society and its future? Huh? I don't think industrial society has a future on a long enough time scale. I mean, that's about it. The current global paradigm of constant extraction and constant hyper exploitation of every resource, every finite resource, is unsustainable. That's it. Why am I so wild about Harry, and why is he so wild about me? I don't know. The never-ending blisses of his kisses fill me with ecstasy. He's as sweet as cotton candy, and just like honey from a bee. Oh, I'm just wild about Harry, and he's just wild about me. Come on, Paul, we have the resources now. Obviously, we will never have scarcity. Never. We're not already experiencing scarcity. What do you think the war and constant grinding occupation in the Middle East is really about? You think that's about terrorism or protecting America? You really buy that line? No. It's about being adjacent with military installations to sources of natural gas and oil so that we can take it. People don't understand peak oil, yeah. Although we already reached peak oil and yet there's still oil. It's like peak oil means that we've reached the maximum amount of production that fucking the earth can generate at one time, and now we're on the downslope. Now we've sucked the first half of the petroleum out of the planet, and now we're working on the bottom half. And because of our exponential growth as a species and our exponential need for more and more fuel, that second half is going to go about 3 times as fast as the first half did. Whoops. And then, of course, the magic machine will be invented that makes combustible fuel out of sunlight. And human beings will explore the stars together in peace and harmony. Here he goes again with the doom and gloom. That wasn't doom and gloom. I told you exactly how it was going to go down. We're going to continue to kill each other over oil, and then eventually the oil is going to run out or get so low that it's no longer useful to us, and then the magic machine will come along that makes even better fuel out of sunlight. And then, 1, 2, skip a few, paradise. Yeah, the magic machine, dude. You laugh at it, but so many people are like their entire worldview is based around the magic machine. If you talk to them about it, if you really talk environmentalism with people, and you give them some of the statistics, and they're not just dismissive of them, usually what I will hear is, well, technology gonna handle that. Really? Okay. When? Oh, well, it'll come around when it comes around. Technology's always growing. It's like, that's true, But we sure could use the magic machine now before the Earth is a fucking smoldering pile of uninhabitable rubble. Oh, it'll come. The magic machine. Science is going to make the magic machine, and the magic machine is going to fix everything. We're going to figure it out. It's once again the central theme of Ishmael, the book I'm always pushing on you guys. That is the central kind of lie that our culture tells. That someday we're going to quit being destructive. Someday we're going to stop denuding the landscape. Someday we're going to stop sucking all the oil out of the ground. And someday the magic machine is going to fix it all. Someday. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Coffee. Hell to the fuck yeah. Someone else will fix it. Yeah. Well, that's the belief. That's why it's okay that we're doing what we're doing. That's how smart people justify the destruction that humanity is wreaking on the planet, on biodiversity, on the oceans, on the skies. It's because eventually some smart person is probably going to come along, right, and invent some magic machine that's going to undo all of the pollution and put humanity on that Star Trek trajectory any second now. It's a narrative I've been hearing my whole fucking life. When I was a little kid, it took the form of shit like, we will have flying cars by the year 2000. Now, that sounds pretty ridiculous, but I'm telling you, most people back in the 1980s believed that the year 2000 was going to mark this giant leap in technology and that the world was going to look completely different. And it just got more exploitative. We just got better at dragging things out of the ground and sucking things out of the ground and putting them to use. And our population doubled or so, around doubled in that time. Thank you, Tucker. Or if somebody's like cutting a tree down today. I'm looking over at all these trees. I'm waiting for one to go like, timber. What's it like living by Leatherface? I don't know. The chainsaw gets a little annoying, but he keeps the screaming down to a minimum, which I appreciate. I've not read the story of B or My Ishmael. Flying cars is fixing what's not broken. I'm not using flying cars as an example of something that we don't have. I'm just using flying cars as an example of the constant drumbeat of futurism that seems to drive our excuse-making machine when it comes to raping the planet. Look at all these wonders we're going to have, and never thinking about the cost, because eventually some smart Einstein, Wright brothers type will invent some kind of anti-pollution tower that sucks all the carbon out of the atmosphere and saps all the poison out of the fucking rivers and streams and saps all of the acidity out of the fucking oceans and sucks up all the plastic and turns it into green renewable energy. And it's just going to happen any day now. So we should just keep going the way that we're going, keep up with the hyper exploitation, keep up with the rape of the planet, keep up with the resource wars and the proxy wars against other geopolitical opponents. Keep it all up. Fuck the planet, because eventually Albert Einstein Jr. is going to be born and invent the magic machine. Yeah. I can't remember the full quote, so I'll paraphrase it here. But I remember somebody saying that it's altogether likely that the next Albert Einstein worked and died an early death in a factory somewhere in the third world. The way that the paradigm that we've created as human beings is set up is that there's a really good chance that the next Albert Einstein, the next Jonas Salk, the next fucking Thomas Edison, the next Nikola Tesla worked a shit fuck factory job in China somewhere and died an early death of neglect and despair. Get us closer and closer to disaster, so the geniuses are forced to save us. The geniuses, yeah. This collection of crazy geniuses that are all gonna come together and fix us all. When you hear about the future ways of getting energy, it sounds good at first. Like, for example, a Dyson Sphere. It harnesses the energy from the sun, but then you learn that entire planets... Yeah, oh yeah. In order to create a Dyson Sphere, you'd have to literally destroy like 20 or 30 Earths. Like, completely break it down into its elemental properties in order to get everything you needed for it. Like, the whole Dyson Sphere thing, that is such far future fucking gobbledygook at this point that it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, it's not ridiculous. It's futurism, but it's this idea of what, you know, humanity might look like if we transcend the barriers that our technology has now and can maximally exploit energy in the most efficient way possible. And the Dyson Sphere is one of those posited ways. Building a huge energy collecting superstructure that literally encases a star, and using the star as a constant engine in order to collect and distribute energy. The amount of energy that's released by the sun every fucking millisecond is tremendous. And so if you could build some kind of superstructure around it like that and harness that energy better, you could power pretty much anything for free, forever. Not forever, of course, but you get my drift. Nuclear will last us plenty long enough until there's something better. Nuclear is likely to be what ends it, bro. Nuclear is likely to be what ends it all. Like, I'm not an anti-nuclear guy. Go ahead and build the plants. But I'm saying that nuclear energy's dark underbelly of missiles pointed directly at one another in preparation for the coming resource wars. That ain't it. How do you make use of the energy that the Dyson Sphere harnesses? Well, it posits, you know, futuristic technologies that allow the transfer of energy wirelessly. You know, it allots for a lot of fucking non-existent technology, obviously. We have nowhere near the technology to even reach the sun and get near enough to build something, let alone build something. So the amount of technology that's just assumed when you talk about a Dyson Sphere is just fucking insane. Just getting that much fucking shit to the sun would be a task that's completely and utterly impossible. Let alone building the fucking thing and actually using it. Wookiee slaves built the Death Star, huh? Yeah. Well, we haven't found the Wookiees yet, so I wouldn't get too fucking... Nuclear meltdowns give the whole thing a bad name. We haven't attained mastery of nuclear fusion yet. No, we haven't. Trump supporters are attempting to breach the Capitol building. Oh boy. Go, 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 maggots. Whatever. I watched about 30 seconds of a Roger Stone rap song that was done at the Stop the Steal rally yesterday. I couldn't make it any farther. It was a whole rap song about how Roger Stone did nothing wrong, and he was standing there on stage like this. And some fucking cucked-ass black dude was like, yeah, they trying to get Roger Stone, but he didn't do nothing wrong. I was like, nope. Yep. They're always trying to push a narrative that's confusing, claiming Roger Stone engaged in Russian collusion. What? Get it out of here. Seen a video of Roger Stone's coke jaw? You're talking about the weird faces and shit that he makes in that deposition? Where he's just like, yeah, here's what, you know what you can do? Get disbarred. That's what you can do. Get disbarred in the District of Columbia like you're going to. It's like, what? What is going on in this man's brain? What kind of fucking Adderall meltdown are we looking at here, folks? Go look at that shit. Go take a fucking peek at that shit. Go watch Roger Stone's deposition. And look at the fucking faces. I was not exaggerating there. I'm just interested to see how Trump finally leaves. Do you think he will be escorted out, or will he himself leave? He will himself leave, and he's already kind of intoned that if this stop the steal shit doesn't work out for him, which it's not going to, he's actually like putting a bunch of pressure on Mike Pence to do something that he has no power to do. Like he's trying to say that Mike Pence has this ability to stop the counts and to make the counts different that he doesn't have. And he's tweeting about how, I hope Mike Pence comes through for us. If Mike Pence does what he should do, we will win. And it's like, what's Mike Pence gonna do? Like he can't recount the fucking votes himself. He can't magically make votes appear for you. The only thing that the Republicans can do to obstruct is to challenge the electoral results. And that's going to do nothing because the electors in those states are not challenging the results. They've certified the results, so it doesn't fucking matter. So what's going to happen is that Trump is going to lose, and he's going to leave the country. He's already said it. There was a big old fucking headline on the Drudge Report talking about how Trump is talking to his inner circle about how, well, if I don't win this, I'm leaving the country. So that's what he'll do. And he has every reason to, too, because he's got no fucking retroactive immunity after January 20th. There are like 6 investigations right now into his taxes going on in the Southern District of New York. 6 federal tax evasion investigations going on. The dude is fucked. He's going to leave. MAGAs are seriously trying to breach the Capitol building, trying to go through the windows. They're going to get shot.
Maybe he's trying to like poison Pence's future career by it, or
I don't know if it's about poisoning Pence. I just think it's about putting this fucking pressure on him like making people think that he's the linchpin that stands on this, so that hopefully he'll just obstruct as much as he can. He's not going to do it. Pence is an old school politician. He's not on Trump's side with this shit.
yeah, he's kept himself just clean enough that
Yep.
he have a salvageable run of his own.
It'll probably be Mike Pence in fucking 2024 that runs. This idea that Trump is going to run again, I don't lend much credence to it. I think Trump is probably not going to be heard from much again after the 20th. But Mike Pence, that could be your 2024 Republican candidate right there. He ain't going to do shit to upset the apple cart. Not that he has the power to fucking invalidate election results anyway, but he could definitely obstruct and make it take longer than it could, make it look like he's doing something. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump is going home. And he won't be dragged out. He's not going to fucking barricade himself in the Oval Office and, you know, be dragged out in handcuffs in front of everybody. He's going to quietly leave, and he'll be out of the fucking country.
You know, he's going to be worth big bucks talking to anyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll do exactly what Obama did. He'll get these corporate speaking engagements. Well, it just depends. If there's like this kind of wall of indictments and stuff that happens against him for his tax fraud and tax evasion and shit in New York, then he's really going to be in a position where he doesn't want to be here to face that.
But I mean, there's other corporations not in the United States that probably want to hear from a former president.
Sure, yeah, he could probably sell his influence in Russia and fucking Britain or wherever. For sure. I mean, he'll definitely do speaking tours and speaking engagements. He'll probably hold MAGA rallies and shit if he doesn't leave the fucking country. But I've got the feeling he's probably just gonna slowly but surely fucking slink away. This stop the steal shit is gonna fucking die on the vine. It's looking more and more like the Democrats at least want a simple majority in the Senate. They still need 60 votes, and they don't have that. But you know, they're still going to get the simple majority in the fucking Senate. That's what it looks like.
What if it got tied, though? Like, it was just 50-50?
I think the Senate's set up so it can't be.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, that just makes it the vice president is the tiebreaker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Effectively, them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I really do genuinely hope that the Democrats taking control of both the House and the Senate and having the presidency leads to a wave of progressive legislation and help for people who need it. As much bullshit as I fucking talk here on the show and as much doom and gloom as I spit at you guys, I really do not hope in my heart of hearts that the Democrats do what I think they're going to do, which is nothing. The last time that the Democrats were in the catbird seat like this was Obama's first fucking term, where we had the presidency, a gigantic landslide mandate from the people on the presidency, and the House of Representatives, and the Senate. And guess what got done? Fuck all. Just another incident of history repeating. I don't think you understand how out of touch these people are. Is that directed at me? I don't understand how out of touch politicians are. How so? How you fig? What is this a repeat of? Obama 2008. Obama 2008, bro. Not that long ago. I know you were probably still pooping in your Pampers, but some of us weren't. Pepperidge Farms remembers. Pepperidge Farms remembers Obama's first fucking presidency. Pepperidge Farms remembers what happened the last time the Democratic Party held the presidency, the House, and the Senate. Not comparable, man. I'm convinced. Absolutely convinced, bro. Definitely a totally different political landscape. We definitely got the squad in there now to vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House, so that definitely locked down a big, major, fundamental change in the way the House of Representatives does business. I'm looking forward to it, man. Yeah, for sure. You're right. You got me. Not comparable at all. Some people will literally burn to death. It's like that meme. I don't know where it comes from, of that dog sitting in a room that's on fire and he's like, this is fine. Like, that's 90% of people. They're fine. Everything good. It's like, all right, folks. D, come here. Take your potty over there by the edge and then come over here. You don't need to be looking for people to pre-bark at.
Oh boy, we're getting some instruction-y things going on.
Somebody's just cleaning up their yard, it sounds like, today. There's been a chainsaw, so somebody's cutting up wood.
What is that thing there?
That's a wood chipper.
Oh.
So they're going to bring all the crap that they don't want to save out to that later today and chip it into the back of that truck. I don't think everything is great, but there are some things Dems can do. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Trumpets are storming the Capitol. I know. This breaking news has been relayed to me. Something tells me some trumpets are going to get shot, if that's true. And then some trumpets are going to suddenly be against the cops because it wasn't black people they were shooting in the back or crushing in the middle of the street. It was white people trying to fucking overthrow the government. I love the confusion of conservatism. It's one of my favorite things to observe. Man, fuck these cops. It's like, yeah. If it was a BLM protest, they'd already be shot. You're probably right about that too. If it was Black Lives Matter trying to climb in the windows of the fucking Capitol building, yeah, you're probably right. There'd probably already be some bodies piling up. Paul actually predicted the Trumpers realizing the cops aren't on their side. That's not really a prediction. Like, I don't give myself credit for that. That's just knowledge of the cops. The cops aren't on any citizen's side. They're on their side. And the side of the fucking power structure. That means they're not on your side unless you're a member of that power structure. So I really don't look at that as some kind of big prediction or some shit. Of course. Of course the maggots are gonna fucking find out that the cops aren't on their side. They already did, pretty much. They had like a big run-in with them yesterday at the Stop the Steal thing where the cops were pepper spraying them and shit. I saw some footage of that shit, and I was like, well, there you go. This is what you asked the cops to do. This is what you've been fucking screaming for the cops to do. Anytime there's a protest that gets rowdy, they should go in and fucking hose everybody down with pepper spray and hit them with water hoses and shoot them if they get crazy. Well, now you get what you want. There you go. And they're all going to bitch about it like it's something different than what was going on during the BLM protest. Whoops. We accidentally sided with the wrong side. The modest boys, yeah. They got past the cops and occupied the building and are inside. Well, they're going to be dragged out forcibly. And it's going to be fun to watch. These protesters are not people. Yes, they are. You don't get to otherize people. See, this is one of the things that I think American politics sets up, this ping pong match where we all get to feel like we're the real human beings. We look at maggots doing something stupid like this and we go like, that's not a person. Yeah, it is. That's a human being. That's part of your fucking race. That's part of your fucking species right there. You're one of those. You don't get to divest yourself from it. That's us out there doing that. That's part of you. That's part of me. That's our fucking culture out there doing what it does. You don't get to divest yourself. The maggots have started the war, my dude. This is the big one. I feel it in my plums. You feel it in your plums, bro? Way down deep in your plums. My plums, getting that bluish hue. Getting ready to pick them and take them to the farmer's market. How much are them plums? 2 plums for 1. The other night I was making hot love to my wife, and my little 3-year-old son walked in, and she started to yell at him to leave, and I said, no, let the boy watch. I never really watched that fucking... I never watched that show, Eastbound and Down, but that like, you can find it on YouTube. There's like a compilation of outtakes from when, what's his name? God damn it, what is his fucking name? I'm gonna forget his fucking name. Thank you, Will Ferrell was on it. And he's doing all these kind of like little improvisational bits about his plums and shit, and nobody can keep from laughing. Keep it way down on my plums. Getting a nice bluish hue, the sunlight dancing off them just right. Getting ready to take them to the market. My plums. They're just walking through now, a national disgrace. Our entire nation is a fucking disgrace, bro. We don't need people acting stupid to put further disgrace upon this nation. We're already a disgraceful nation. The way that we've handled this COVID-19 pandemic has led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people in this country and probably over 1 million people worldwide. We're a disgrace. We're a global fucking disgrace. And we should all be incredibly embarrassed to live here and incredibly ashamed of the place in which we live as we descend further and further towards complete fucking madness. We all ought to be ashamed of ourselves. But we're not.
What are you doing? Your face so dirty. Face so dirty. Ew. got?
Huh?
You see a dirty dinosaur space got?
Dirty face dinosaur? What did you do? Have you been gopher chasing this morning? You been gopher sniffing? What the fuck, bro? What the fuck, bro?
Daddy's busy.
Oh, Daddy's never too busy. I'll play it. Fetch.
Things in your hand.
Yeah, that is true. Guess right now I am. Amelia Bedelia just chilling, yeah. Did you get called Amelia Bedelia a lot?
Yeah.
You did? And Amelia Earhart?
Not really Earhart.
You didn't get Earhart enough? Just Amelia Bedelia?
Yeah. Come here.
That kind of sucks because I'd rather get Amelia Earhart. She was awesome. Amelia Bedelia was just like a kid's thing, right?
Yeah.
Like a kid's book.
No.
Amelia Earhart. She was a pioneer, a female icon. She got sucked into the Bermuda Triangle, though.
I'm definitely not the coolest Amelia.
I don't know about that. I think you might be the coolest Amelia currently alive, easily, like by a fucking country mile, in my opinion. I don't think there's anyone that even comes close that's alive right now.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Was she the balloon lady? No, she was a pilot. She was the first woman to circumnavigate the globe in a plane. Yeah, Amelia Earhart. And then she disappeared. Presumed in a plane crash, but there's a lot of people that think that she disappeared on purpose. There's actually a picture that people claim is of her after her supposed death, standing in Cuba on a dock. A bunch of Zoomers don't know Amelia Earhart, yeah. Cuba Libre. Would you like a toot? She got shot down, in your opinion? There's all kinds of crazy fucking conspiracy theories about it. There's the Bermuda Triangle conspiracy, that her flight got diverted over the Bermuda Triangle and was... Why does it wipe green? What are you talking about, your butt? You got a green poop? That happens sometimes. It's normal. You probably just ate a lot of shrubbery, you know? Now get timed out. Definitely eaten by coconut crabs. You're probably right about that. Or, you know, just...
She started the Cuban Revolution.
Yeah, maybe she did. Cuba Libre. No, I've seen the picture. There's like a backside profile picture of a woman standing on a dock in what looks like Cuba with another man who's posited to be some dude that she was friends with or some shit, and you can't see her face, but you can see kind of like a side back profile of her, and people go, that's Amelia Earhart, and it's dated, you know, post her death. That's her. She just faked her death because she didn't want to be an American anymore or whatever. I was thinking of Cathay Paulus. She jumped 140 times from a balloon in a parachute in the 19th century. Cool. Yeah, that's not who I was talking about, but she sounds fucking dope, too. I think I might need to do a Clits of Steel, too.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of fun with that episode, man. There was a lot of fucking badass women in history that don't get their propers and their dues. What were those? The Night Witches.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, bro. The Russian Night Witches, dude. that flew bombing runs in crop dusters during the war with Germany.
You could do like some of the big figures in the Prohibition movement. Pretty
Oh yeah, like Mabel Walker Willibrand and all of the ladies that started the Women's Temperance League
and then the women that opposed it later.
Yep. That'd be kind of interesting. Allah shot her out of the sky for being a heretic. Maybe he did. Oh yeah, they would turn the engines off. They would get close, and then they would cut the engines and glide and let their planes go into basically like a free fall, drop their bombs, start the engines up, and get the fuck out. And they did this thousands of times, and hundreds of them were killed. Well, no, I actually don't think they were. I don't think wasn't it that like none of them were ever shot down? No, they were. The female Russian bombers, the ones that turn off the engine to bomb, yeah. Oh, it was fucking frozen. It was like sub-zero temperatures with wind chill. They're in open canopy crop duster airplanes, retrofitted with bombs. They're flying low to go under the radar. Female snipers in the Soviet Union, yeah. Soviet Union was forward thinking when it came to allowing women to serve in the military. Not necessarily with the same distinction as men, though. They lagged behind on that. But you know, women in the United States were often relegated to more menial work to support the war effort. You know, and it ended up being a kind of an equalizer for women too. You know, Rosie the Riveter became a thing, and women were asked for the first time in, you know, basically history, certainly modern history, to do factory work as a norm and to do all the other jobs that all the men were overseas fighting used to do. And so it ended up being an equalizing force in America too, but Russia was just ahead of the curve on that shit. They were like, oh, we've got these talented women here. Like, why not use them? You know? There were women that, American women that served in World War II. Most of them in the medical field as field nurses and stuff. It happened, but Russia did it out of necessity. Well, I mean, I would argue that World War II would have been a great time for us to double our force. I would argue that World War II would have been a great time for us to exploit the talents of the many women who wanted to join that fight. Let them be snipers, let them be frontline fucking soldiers, let them be tank commanders, let them be airplane fucking pilots. You tell him. You tell him, D. How dare he do his job over there? How dare? How dare? I think a lot of the Russian women in World War II pretended to be men to get into the army. I know that probably happened, but what ended up happening was less that women weren't used in the army. It was more that they didn't get any of the accolades. Like the Night Witches, they were never like formally decorated for their heroism or anything in the same way that male fighter pilots and tank commanders and shit were. But they were actually a psyop against the Germans, which I find to be really interesting. In addition to making use of these very talented and extraordinarily brave women, they used it as a psyop against the German people who felt extra insulted by the idea that their materiel and bases were being bombed by women that they couldn't catch. It was a psyop. It was like, we send these night witches out in these little planes, and we let them do these bombing runs, and that does damage not only to German materiel, but German, fucking morale. because we let it be known that it was women that did this. So not only are they being bombed into the ground, but their very male-centric culture is having its very foundation challenged by the fact that they just can't get these women. Still to this day, it's basically unthinkable for women to serve in combat on the front lines. I mean, look, let me explain something to you. This is, and this is true. There are women in this world that would undoubtedly make amazing frontline combat soldiers. But most women are not of the physical size and stature that is required. There we go. Fixed. Banned from YouTube, I know, for my shitty opinion.
Yeah, that one.
Don't know if this is the right place for this to be brought up. There's chaos going outside of the U.S. Capitol. Scary stuff. Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. I'm not completely in the loop. I've been streaming kind of as it unfolds, I guess, but you know, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't know what people expected. This stop the steal shit was always meant to be this kind of disruptive shit. This is, you know, the true believers of Trump's fucking campaign making a final last gasp at making the impossible happen. And really all that's going to happen is they're going to get shot and arrested and fucked up by the cops and possibly the military, and that'll be it. They actually broke through the security fencing and were at the steps of the Capitol building when I checked 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I know. People said that they were trying to climb in windows. People have said that they were evacuating the Capitol building. So they might actually let these people like occupy the Capitol building, which I really wouldn't let it get to that point if I were the authorities, but whatever. It's just going to be a long, drawn out thing, and they will lose. They're just letting some of them walk in. What the fuck? Yeah. Well, if it was a darker crowd, there'd be tear gas and rubber bullets flying. Let's put it that way. At the very least, shots were fired inside the Capitol. See, this is why I hate doing this shit. Let's not talk about it, because I don't know what's memes and what isn't. I'm not reading the goddamn fucking news. C-SPAN's reporting an armed standoff. Cool. Well, that's not going to go well for the people on the other end of the authorities. Yeah.
God damn it, we're not gonna get eye patch fucking Scotty today.
What do you mean?
I guess he came back from the doctor, Taylor said, and he doesn't need an eye patch, so he's not gonna be Pirate Scotty.
Damn. Well, that's a good sign. That means that he's just got a light corneal scratch or whatever the fuck. I told him today when he told me about it, when I was a kid, the same thing happened to me, and they put a patch on my eye. It wasn't like a traditional eye patch, but it was just like the taped on gauze thing to keep your eye closed and healing. I remember it itching as it healed, and then I had to keep that on for 2 days, and then taking it off and letting the light into it for the first time was like, ah! But I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 when that happened to me.
Vote for Pirate Scotty.
Same exact way, too. My mom's cat, Gerger, I was messing with her, and she got done with me messing with her and just went, and I was like, ah! Yeah, no! Went to the doctor, and they put some, like, eye drops in it, and then put a patch on it, like put the thing. So that happened to Scotty this morning, apparently. But we're not getting eye patch Scotty. Just gonna have irritated eye Scotty. Maybe sunglass Scotty for a few episodes. I'm glad his eye's okay.
I think Pirate Scotty or Riot.
Dude, Pirate Scotty would have been dope. Would have been capital D, Dizza, Dizza, Dizzo. Could have had a David Bowie eye. Oh. Well, I just got a scratch on my cornea. That's what I got. And I got 2 days in a bandage.
There was one guy at my work that I think had an eye patch for like a month. because those shelves are so high at Amazon, so like shit will fall down in your eye. Someone got stabbed by like one of those like classic blister packs.
Did I ever tell you the story about that kid Dusty and the mustard packs with me?
No.
There was a kid named Dusty that I went to school with. I think I've told them about it, but I'll tell it again real quick. I was in grade school, so I was first, second grade, that area, 6, 7, 8. And there was this kid named Dusty. He wasn't a bully, but he was like the class clown. I think he probably had like pretty severe ADHD, but that was something that was relatively new as a diagnosis when I was a child, and nobody was treated for it. So he was just like a problem kid. And he got busted because he climbed up on the sink in the boys' room to climb out of a little window and broke the sink. And so he got busted and suspended. And then he came back from his suspension and was sitting across from me at lunch, and it was corn dog day. And I started talking shit. I wasn't trying to be mean to him, but I was like, dude, man, you got suspended, or whatever I said to him. And he was like, hey, I don't want to hear about it. And he grabbed these mustard packs, one in each hand. And he put them at me like, I'm going to squeeze, like I could tell what the threat was. Like, I'm going to squeeze these and blow mustard all over you if you keep fucking. And so I was like, I said something else. I can't remember what I said. I was a little kid. But I said something that set him off, and he squeezed it, and that shit spurted through his own finger and into his own eye. And he was like, "Bleh!" It's like mustard, like deep into his eye. You know what I mean? All up in his eyeball and shit. And he's like, "Bleh!" And I was like, whoa. And the fucking, teacher ran over, took him to the nurse. He was gone for another 2 days, and when he came back, he had a big fucking eye patch on. The same thing I had when I had the scratch from the cat. Like just a big wad of gauze over his eye. I was just like, good show, Dusty. First day back from being fucking suspended for breaking the sink in the boys' room. And you squeeze a mustard pack in your own eyeball. Oh, fuck me, man. Dude, I'm telling you what, man. I have precious few of those types of memories from when I was a kid, but it really pains me to know the memes that have been lost. I guarantee you some funny ass crazy shit like that happened to me at least 10 other times when I was a kid, but fuck if I can remember it. Grade school memes, dude, they rarely get funnier to me, because like basically my sense of humor stopped developing in grade school. If you've been watching me for long enough, you know that, like, for me, the pinnacle of humor is pee-pee, poo-poo, fart jokes. I will laugh harder at nothing else. Like, if somebody blows a fart, to me, it's the funniest thing that ever happened in the world, especially if it's done right. Yeah. That story of TJ farting in that old lady's sour face on his way out of the bank has got to be one of my favorite fucking stories that I've ever heard. The first time he told me that story, I almost died laughing, because he tells it so nonchalantly. You know how TJ is. He's like, yeah, this bitch was in line at the bank. And this old bitch was like sitting on a bench in there. She gave me like a stink eye, when I walked in. She was just like, had this like sour fucking look on her face and shit. So I stood in line. I got up the thing and I did whatever I was doing at the bank. And I went out and I'm going out. She's still sitting on that bench. She's still giving me the stink eye. Still looking at me with that sour fucking old bitch face. So I walked right by that bitch and I just farted in her fucking face and I left. I was like, you did what? I farted right in that bitch's face and I left. Yeah, you did. That's fucking awesome. Because I've been in that position like a million times, where you think somebody's giving you the sour face, but I've never done anything about it. TJ he farts right in your face if you do that shit to him. And good on him. Shouldn't be giving people the stink eye and shit. He gave her the stink eye right back. Dude, a drive-by fart in an old lady's face that's being sour and angry has got to be one of the funniest fucking propositions on the planet. Yeah, dude, she gave him the stink eye and he gave her the stink face. Oh my God, yeah, if somebody's being hella serious and they're like, and furthermore, I need to be excused for a moment. That shit right there, I'll fall out. I've only witnessed 2 or 3 things that even approach that in my life, but I'm telling you, a fart at a serious moment is one of the most fucking disarming, amazing things that can happen. It's like a tension breaker, man. It's the great equalizer. The Key and Peele teacher sketch, yeah. And then, like, everything about a fart, about that bodily function, everything that can come with it, it's just little different layers of spice to the hilarity of it. Like, if somebody farts so hard that they poop a little and have to go take care of it, that's extra dodextra funny to me. It happened to TJ. Live on the fucking 24-hour show. People in the chat were like, TJ, do a fart. And he stood up and put his mic right on his asshole and was like, cut this. And if you go back and listen to it, it sounds wet as fuck. It's like, and then all of a sudden he just like stood up and like scooted out of the room. The penguin waddle, yeah. And then now, to this day, he claims he didn't shit his pants.
Wasn't he on that ally shit or something?
I don't know what he was on. Yeah, he might have been taking that ally shit to try and cut weight at that time, which gives you these greasy ass shits. Because it basically makes you incapable of processing fat. Like, it binds to fat and emulsifies it, and you just shit out a bunch of grease. So it might have been during that time. I don't know what caused it, but the fact that TJ to this day denies that he did the penguin waddle shuffle out. It's just extra funny to me, you know? I love the fact, and I've pointed this out before, I love the fact that one of the final noises that you make is a fart. Like, after you die, it's very common for there to be an evacuation of gas and stuff from your bowels. So it's like the last joke.
Oh, dude, we gotta watch that Santa Clarita Diet, because there is a pretty good scene.
Is there a good fart scene?
They're trying to hide a body and it keeps farting.
I like it. I like it already. Yeah, it's the final joke, dude.
You know what you should change your 21st birthday story to?
What?
That stripper using your nose like a credit card and then farting right in your mouth.
Oh, God, man. I was a little worried about that at the time, I remember. I'd never had a butthole that close to my mouth before that was, like, out of my control.
Yeah.
And so I was not prepared. But, I don't know. I was also enjoying myself,
Yeah.
so...
But she should have still ripped a fat-ass fart in your face for the memes.
I mean, she was a total fucking dom.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was weird. That shit came out of her as the night went on. When she first started, like, she was a younger chick. She was probably your age now. She was probably like 22, 23. But she had this, like, command of the room immediately. Yeah. It was like, as soon as she was on, it was like no dude in that room had any say in what was happening. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like total dom shit. She started like normal stripper shit, lap dances, taking off all her clothes and shit, picking out different guys and yada, yada, yada. Mostly focusing on me because I was the birthday boy. But it slowly but surely, she took it over. Like, she moved me from the chair to the ground. And then she was basically face-sitting me. Yeah. Pulling money off of my face with her snatch. And then, like, not 20 minutes later, she was spanking our asses with a belt and had us all fucking lined up. She did this crazy shit where she had us all, like, stripped down to our underwear and lay next to each other, head, foot, head, foot, head, foot, so that she could do this, like, crawl and writhe across all of us like we were some big mattress. And I remember laying there in my tighty-whities with my boner sticking straight up and all my other friends' boners just waving in the wind. And there's this hot, slinky little chick just kind of like, it was fucking crazy. My stripper experience is limited in comparison to most dudes, but I ain't never had a stripper like that. And the fucking the offer was made too. Like, you know the offer. The dude that brought her came to me afterwards, and he was actually a dude I knew from high school that was now escorting strippers, a big guy. And he came to me kind of as it was wrapping up, and he was like, "Birthday boy, come here for a minute." And, I'm all drunk and shit. And he's like, "Everything's taken care of." And I was like, "Far out." And he's like, "No, no, no. If you would like to go off in another room and everything's taken care of." I'm like, "Oh, like." He was like, "Yeah. No, not with your friends, with her. Yeah, if you'd like to, yeah, it's all handled." And I was like, "No, thank you."
Why do your parents keep trying to strong arm you into fucking prostitutes?
I don't think it was my parents that set that up, by the way. That was not their idea. My mom did not call that dude. It was one of my fucking jackass friends that knew that guy and knew that he had a stripper that it was probably his girlfriend.
Yeah. Would you do the walk of shame in front of your mom?
What's the walk of shame?
Like after you were done with the fucking stripper.
That was what would okay, so two things went through my mind. One of them was really stupid. One of them was, I gotta be faithful to the girl I'm with. The girl that I was with cheated on me like uncountable times. I found out after we broke up that she basically fucked half the town. So that was stupid of me. I should have went ahead and fucked the stripper. And then the other part that kept me from doing it is like, I've got to go fuck a stripper in my old bedroom at my mom's house. Sucks that those kind of strippers are usually a one-time occurrence. I don't know, man.
It probably depends on what town you're in. Like, I've gone to some seedy strip clubs because I wanted to go before I turned 21, and you know those places have something going on the back door.
Most strip clubs do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of knowing how, like, here's the thing. I've never taken advantage of a strip club hand job or whatever the fuck. But I've been offered, and like I said, I've not been to a bunch of strip clubs. And pretty much every strip club that I've been to, there's been the insinuation that I could get that in some way, shape, or form. It's like the first step to it is the private dance. And so if you've ever gotten a private dance at a strip club, you have probably been, maybe without your knowledge, maybe you didn't pick up on it, but passively told that you could pay more money to get a blowjob, or you could pay more money to get a hand job, or you could pay more money to fuck, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Well, maybe you did, and you just didn't pick up on it. I've trust me, dude. It's not something that you altogether expect going to a strip club, and so when it gets dropped, like the last time I was at a strip club, was with Ashley. She wanted to go. She found this chick that she thought was really hot. She wanted a private dance. I bought one for her. We bought like a couples dance, but I just kind of sat and watched. And then at the end of that, we went upstairs to pay, and that was the invitation. Upstairs were a bunch of little rooms with beds and shit in them.
Yeah.
And we stood there in full view of that shit and paid. Mm-hmm. The implication was, hey, make me an offer. Mm-hmm. And we'll, all three of us, go back there and we'll fuck. Yeah. But, I don't want chlamydia, so. Or hepatitis, or
There was one
perps.
chick at fucking a strip club that like she was about ready to, she like offered the lap dance and everything, and then I saw that she had this little fucking band-aid right by her asshole. I'm like,
okay, maybe not you.
I don't want that wet band-aid somewhere on me.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like her getting up and going like, oh, you want to keep going, baby? You look down on your thigh and like there's a big old dirty dookie band-aid. No.
Dude, she was crazy. She was like trying to reach into my shirt and shit.
Yeah. There was one chick.
She was fighting for the lap dance and maybe more, but
I hate strip clubs. I don't hate them. We've talked about it. Like, I don't hate them, but they're not my favorite place to go. I can enjoy myself in a strip club, but only if I go there with the full fucking knowledge that it's probably going to be creepy for me at certain points, and try and focus myself on the eye candy of the strip club, whatever it may be. And I don't have super extensive strip club experience, but I've been to a few. One of them around where my hometown is was named Gold Diggers. It was in Fresno, actually. And I've been to that strip club a number of times, and that is a very seedy, very fucking, you know, anything goes kind of place. It tries to keep this reputation of fucking being a clean place to go. And it's not like a dirty place, I guess, but it's dirty in terms of like, it's like every other strip club, basically. Like, I have not been to a strip club where I felt like no sex goes on here. There's no path from A to sex here. No matter how upscale. I went to an upscale one in the Phoenix area with Waylon back in the day. This is before he was married, so I don't get Waylon in trouble. This was way before he was married. But Waylon came to visit me in Arizona. And he was like, man, I heard the strip clubs in Arizona are full nude. And I was like, oh, yeah, they are. He's like, we got to go, man. We got to go. And so I found this strip club that had really good reviews, and it was in a really nice building, upscale kind of place. And dude, Waylon fucking tapped out his bank account in that place. He found a stripper, got a private dance, and ended up paying for like 2 hand jobs or some shit from her. It was ridiculous. He came out of that place looking drained and defeated, looking simultaneously really satisfied and really scared for his future. He looked like kind of like a post-orgasmic ghost. I asked him on the way home, I was like, you okay, dude? He's like, bro, I just blew pretty much my whole paycheck for the month on that. I was like, on what? On a private dance? He was like, well, no. I mean, yeah, but no. There's a little more than dancing going on, you know? I was like, fuck me. Holy
you were
shit.
in a relationship at that time, too.
With the same chick.
Yeah.
Who was out probably when I was out at the strip club, she was probably out fucking somebody.
Yeah. You're like, no. Can't do it, bro.
Dude, this was the thing. That same night, after Waylon was doing his thing, because he was back there for like a fucking hour. So I just sat and watched strippers, and I had my ones, and I was passing them out or whatever. And a lot of the strippers, like, I like natural boobs. I'm not trying to diss on anybody that's got fake boobs or whatever. It just ain't my thing. I like a natural set of tits that hangs like a natural set of tits and looks like a natural set of tits. I'm not a size queen or whatever. I like big ones, I like small ones, but I don't like the fake ones. And a lot of the chicks at this place had implants. They were hot. They were not, I liked looking at them, but they were just not. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and this chick comes out. And she's unlike any of the other strippers at the place. She's wearing like thigh highs and nothing else. She's got this little pixie haircut, very small boobs, but natural. Like no,
Petite, yeah.
She was very petite, like 5'1" maybe. Yeah. And she started working the stage and shit. And she fucking locked on to me. Yeah. And was really like milking me for my
Yeah, she probably
ones.
watched you kind of going, eh.
She probably saw the way I looked at her when she came out after the parade of, just kind of like stuff. It wasn't, whatever. They were hot. Like I said, I'm not trying to say they weren't. It's just not my thing. And she wanted me to get a private dance. And I was just like, I know where that goes. So, nah, I'm just here to look. Thank you. And she looked real disappointed and went on and moved on to somebody else. And looking back on that, fucking dumb of me.
You've had so many.
So many strip opportunities passed up, man. But I don't know.
I think I've only gone 3 times. I tried going to one in New Orleans, but I was 18 at the time, and they have a strict 21 plus stripper policy.
Oh yeah. Well, because they serve booze. Yeah. Booze is how they ply you out of your money.
I've gone to strip clubs where it was 18 plus, and they had booze.
They just mark your hand.
At X or whatever.
Yep.
But...
Well, I mean, I'm not adverse to going to some strip clubs, and so I don't know if strip clubs are even going to be a thing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I've only gone 3 times personally.
I've probably gone like 10 times to strip clubs or had it was way more common back in the day. I don't know if people still do this. They probably do. But back in the day when I was a teenager, we used to pool our money together and have call an escort service or whatever, and they would send a stripper with a big fucking beefy dude out, and she would do the whole private kind of strip show for you and your friends. I've done that 2 or 3 times, including my birthday, and then probably been to strip clubs another 6 times. And like I said, I've never been to one where I felt like, oh, this is on the up and up and no pussy is being slung here, you know? I've never been to a gay strip club. That's an experience I've never had.
Dude, those twinks are gonna be all over you.
I know. That's why I've never gone. I don't know what I can do. I don't know. No, dude. I don't know. Too many twinks.
Dude, you're just gonna be like fucking a giggly mess.
Oh, yeah.
Red.
I'm gonna be all ashamed and embarrassed, but having a great time at the same time. All my fucking deep-seated hatred of my sexuality is gonna come out in the form of giggles and blushes and shit, and I'll just have a twink ass in my lap, happily slapping away. Pretty looking twink makes me weak in the knees. I don't really get weak in the knees, but I do like me a twink.
You get weak in the knees if fucking the hand went down there, though.
Jesus fucking Christ. Get weak in the wallet, too, is what I'd get. I'd get taken for a hand job. Holy fuck. Strip clubs are weird, man. Can we just put it that way? Is that why I keep you around? Well, yeah, Jason, I gotta have a twink around me. Doing anything with you, Jason, would be like fucking around with a little brother or something.
Or your nephew.
Like, I can appreciate your twinklitude. I'm not gonna say, you know, you're a handsome guy. But I just, you know, I couldn't booty blast you is what I'm saying, Jason. I couldn't give it to you. Thank you for the $1 there, Lunchbox. Twinkieology. Yeah, it's hard for me to even kind of talk about it still. Even though I'm kind of openly and out about it, I feel like I'm being salacious in a way that I wouldn't be if I was talking about women. It's very easy for me to have described those interactions that I had with female strippers, but it's very hard for me to fantasize about an interaction I would have with a male stripper in a gay strip club. It feels wrong. It feels like I shouldn't talk about it. Like it's somehow dirtier than me sitting here for fucking the last hour and talking about all the disgusting stripper shit that I did with women. It shows you like the power of being at odds with your own sexuality for as long as I was. Kind of sad, honestly, because it's no different. I mean, for some people, this conversation was too lewd or too gross or too graphic or whatever, and they went on about their business. But it had nothing to do with it being gay or straight. But in my mind, it was like, oh, the straight stuff is way more palatable than me sitting here talking about the gay stuff. Why? Well, if you can figure out time zones, Flash Fried will be live at, 5:30 Central?
Yeah.
So 5:30 p.m. or thereabouts Central for the patrons. So if you can figure out your Eastern time zone relative to Central, I think
Eastern's one more.
It's 1 hour ahead, so it's going to be 6:30 Eastern. So there you go. We did it.
And hopefully by that time, fucking George's results will be good or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it anyway, at least briefly. We'll definitely be covering the maggots storming the Capitol situation that's going on. So
it ain't worth pulling nothing until right before.
Yo, I know you really don't care about the news, but the Proud Boys are storming the Capitol and U.S. reps are in lockdown. Yeah, I know. Guys, the updates are starting to get lame now. Like, I know People have told me I've been streaming for fucking the last almost hour and a half. I know. I'm aware. Here's a little stimulus from my broke butt. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Never solicited, always appreciated. Thank you for the donation. A dude came out with a paper cut at the protest and said, "Don't let this happen to you or your kids." Lol, it was hilarious. Wu-Tang for life, yes. Dr. Dre is in critical condition still, isn't he? Dr. Dre might die.
I mean, Biden survived an aneurysm, so he might too.
Maybe. MF Doom just died. Well, didn't just die, but we just found out he's dead. Dr. Dre might croak.
It says I'll be out of the hospital and back home soon, so he's fine.
Oh, well, that's good. Money for Ploofarb. Well, that's thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, he might have gotten the aneurysm from the COVID.
What happened to Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre had an aneurysm and is in the hospital. And there's not a lot of information as of last night about his, like, condition and shit.
Yeah. Supposedly he's fine and lucid, but it could be COVID, it could be one of those random things. He's about the age where people just randomly get aneurysms that kill them.
Yep, that's true. Dude, our aging rappers are one of our most fucking precious national treasures. I'm telling you, man, I never got to see old-ass Eazy-E, and old-ass Eazy-E would have been a trip. That kid died so young. So many rappers die young. You know what I mean? There's a lot of these modern rappers have fallen way before their time. Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Lil Peep. Overdose. It's almost like all that lean and Molly and shit may not be a fucking fantastic idea. Snoop Dogg must not die. If Snoop Dogg dies, then the era of hip-hop is over, and we have to usher in the era of country again or some shit, because he's really the only thing culturally holding back country music. He's like, man, chill for a spell. Smoke a doobie. His whole aura just pushes back country and keeps it from taking over. Like Lil Nas X is even trying to work against him. He's like, listen, it's hip-hop country, riding on my horse. It's like, no. Sing your best country song. I don't know which one is my best. It's probably a Garth Brooks song. I love the Thunder Rolls, but that one's kind of a long song. I don't know if I have the vocal strength to do it today. I'm sitting here smoking cigarettes.
You didn't finish your coffee.
Oh, I'm still sipping. It's like chilled coffee now, but it's still delicious. I love that song Highwayman that like Waylon Jennings, fucking Willie Nelson, and fucking Johnny Cash, and there's one other. Yeah. I was a highwayman, along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his... Oh, how's it go? Many a soldier shed his life's blood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive. I was a dam builder across the river deep and wide, where steel and water do collide. I can't remember the rest of that one. A place called Boulder on the mighty Colorado. I tripped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. Doo-doo, I was a sailor. How does that one go? I can't remember. It's a great song, though.
What time do you have to go today?
I don't know. I guess when Scotty comes back, he'll text, and if we want to meet before the show, we can meet. If not, we'll just do it in front of one of the other shows. Oh, yeah. I was born upon the tide. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. With the sea I did abide. I fly a starship across the universe divide. And when I reach the other side, I'll try to something if I can. Doo-doo-doo. And I may become a highwayman again. Doo-doo-doo. Or perhaps I'll be a single drop of rain, but I will remain. And I'll be back again and again and again. It's a great song. I've loved this song for a long time. My dad passed away a few weeks ago and played it as viewing Jesus Christ. It was hard. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to tear open that wound. It's a beautiful song, though. It really is. An example of like country music being really good and impactful and amazing and kind of like a super group. The Highwaymen were like a super group, man. Fucking Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, fucking, you know, headlining basically Johnny Cash. Four of the greatest fucking voices in country music at that time coming together. Great shit. And then they write a deep philosophical song like that about men that die, but how they never really die, how they all just become part of everything else.
Can't light it.
That seems like a... Oh, yeah, it's pretty dusted. That's why. Let me pack you a freshie. I fly a starship across the universe divide. And when I reach the other side, I'll try and find a place to rest my bones, and then I may become a highwayman again. Or perhaps I'll be a single drop of rain, but I will remain. I'll be back again. Thank you. It's the wind. Oh, yeah. I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can, yeah. That's the line. We are. Ha ha.
Devil of coughing.
I wish I could remember the I Was a Sailor one. But whatever. Good song. I love old Garth Brooks too. Like Garth Brooks is a crazy fuck. Like he's always been insane, but his like that Rope in the Wind, I believe, was his first big kind of hit album. That fucking album's crazy good. It's got some good like shit kicking kind of drinking songs on it. And it's got some really amazing story ballads in it that just are very visually evocative. The Thunder Rolls being my favorite. Is there a schedule for your streams? I keep seeming to miss the first hour. A lot of that has to probably do with just YouTube's fucking not notifying you when I'm live. But no, there is no set schedule for Highdeology. I do it when I can. And I do it when I feel like doing it. So, unfortunately, no. You just gotta kind of catch it. Would you accept if Willie started doing country rap? That's just a non-fucking starter of a question with me, because Willie would never do that. Like, Willie Nelson, as I know him, and I got to see Willie Nelson live at the Madera County Fair when I was a little kid, and he was awesome. As you might expect, and stoned. And openly smoking a joint on stage in the 90s when that was a big no-no. Didn't give a fuck. Your intro to the Murder Inc. DFF episode was exceptional, better than some mob movie performances. I like doing that kind of shit from time to time. I have a fascination with, you know, different I don't know, different accents and stuff. And I'm pretty pretty hacky at doing most accents, but I can nail a few. I was raised in the 80s and 90s. Country like Thunder Rolls immediately takes me back to being in my mom's car after school. Oh yeah, me too. I mean, that was I was probably in middle school when that song was at its peak popularity, so 7th, 8th grade. And I tell you what, man, I liked Garth Brooks a lot. I was a big fan. There's a few like lesser known songs off of that, like Wild Horses is a great fucking Garth Brooks song if you want to listen to it. It's just got a great line that he takes through the song. Wild horses keep dragging me away, and I'll lose more than I'm gonna win someday. Oh, dude, there's another song that I forgot about Garth Brooks that's great. The one about being a fucking rodeo, it's called. Oh, fuck, that song is dope. His eyes are cold and restless. His wounds have almost healed. And she'd give half of Texas just to change the way he feels. She knows his love's in Tulsa, and she knows he's gonna go. Now it ain't no woman, flesh and blood, it's that damned old rodeo. Whoa, that song is dope. It's the bulls and blood, it's the dust and mud, it's the roar of the Sunday crowd. It's the white in his knuckles, the gold in the buckle he'll win the next go round. It's boots and straps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and a lot of gold. It's the ropes and the reins and the joy of the thing, and they call the thing rodeo. It's like, whoa, such an evocative song, you know what I mean? Such a well-written fucking country song. I don't really give a fuck about rodeo, but it makes me want to go see a rodeo. Yep, boots and blood, dust and mud, and the roar of a Sunday crowd, yeah. I haven't thought of that song in fucking years either. You remember, I'm sitting here talking about Garth Brooks, and all of a sudden I remembered that fucking intro. Down, 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 down. And I'm like, what song was that? Eyes are closed, I'm restless. Wounds have almost healed. How's the second verse to that? She's always there to hold him when his love comes to call. But the need of that controls the man. Her back's against the wall. And it's so long, girl, I'll see you, and it's time for him to go. All the years that he's been chasing this dream they call rodeo, whoa. In his concerts, he would hold that whoa. He'd say, this dream they call rodeo, whoa. You know, and the audience would go like, ah, that's a bosom blood, it's a dove. I mean, great shit, dude. Great shit, great song. It's such evocative, great storytelling involved. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain does not make me cry. No, it is not one of those songs. Really, the only songs that will make me weep from their sheer beauty are pretty much all jazz songs. And 90% of that is just bass and straight blues. I will sometimes listen to that song and just be overcome with its absolute beautiful perfection. We're talking a masterclass performance by musicians that were literally the best in the fucking world at their instruments. And Louis Armstrong providing the vocal accompaniment, along with his cornet. Amazing. One of the most amazing pieces of music ever made. It will move me to tears when I listen to it, so. Not every time, but a lot of times. Moonlight Sonata is another great example of I mean, jazz is so evocative. It makes me sad that more people aren't into it because jazz is just such an evocative genre. It's so chill and so beautiful and so real and so human, filled with all the joy and disappointment of life. It's such a great story. Garth Brooks was an Olympic athlete? Really? I did not know that. I was not aware of that. What was his, was he a shot putter or some shit? I don't really fall for those like real sad, like I'm not trying to say it's a bad word. I love Bridge Over Troubled Waters. It's a very sad song. But I just don't really fall for the rock ballads as hard as some people do. They don't have that same, there's some of them that are very evocative and very great, but I don't know. There's a sadness inherent to jazz, the blues, and country music, old country music especially, that I don't see it replicated in any other genre. There's a lot of sadness in rap right now. There's a lot of like emo style rap right now. And, but it just doesn't move me in the same way. Sorry. Oh no, that's all good. Axl Rose has his thorn. Some reggae can be sad. Sure, any music genre can turn out a tearjerker, but for me, I don't know. There's just, I'm tuned a certain way, you know what I mean? I can't help that. When it comes to music and me being ultimately very moved by a piece of music, the ones that really get me super emotional are jazz music, typically, and some country music. If I could be a master at one instrument, what would it be? The piano. If you play the piano and understand it at a master level, you have the door to pretty much every other instrument. It is probably the most pragmatic instrument to learn because it gives you all of the musical knowledge that you need to pick up any other instrument and learn it. But I would love to be able to play the piano. I've talked about it before, so I won't tell the whole story, but I was lucky enough for about 6 or 8 months to live with a really super talented concert pianist who had his own baby grand, and I would listen to him work, classical piano a lot. Introduced me to my favorite piece of classical music, which is Allegro Barbaro by Bela Bartok. And it's hard to find a really great his performance of Allegro Barbaro by Bela Bartok. It was one of the angriest and most ominous ones that I'm able to find. Like, you can find some really great technical performances of Allegro Barbaro by Bela Bartok on YouTube, but none of them quite hit the way that his interpretation of it hit. He played a very angry, very emotional Allegro Barbaro that was just, I haven't heard it's matched. I would pay fucking good money to hear him play it again, but I can't even remember the dude's fucking last name. Go figure. Give her the ball. Quit being a lazy bones. No capital updates, thanks. Yeah, I can't react to news as it is filtered through comments. So if you guys are interested in that, go find somebody streaming about it, you know what I mean? I'll find out what's going on when I look into it and shit.
Yeah, but you got a few more hours spared with Flash Fried, so...
Right. We're doing Flash Fried in a few hours, and at that point, I'll look at it and I'll cover it. But I'm not really interested in doing it right now. I'm not in a position where I really feel like getting up and going and looking, at the news. I'm in the middle of doing this. And we're having a conversation about other shit, too. Do you really think all theory is deserving of destruction and forgetting? I'd wager you wouldn't burn Daniel Quinn's books. I was being very angry last night. I was using emotional rhetorical flourish. I'm not a book burner. I don't think all theory should be burned. I'm just tired of hearing theory and no substance. I'm no master of theory, but I'm well acquainted with some of the major theories. But yeah, no, I'll walk that shit back. I was in the middle of a very self-righteous and very angry fucking rant. And I will tell you that I'm an agent of slavish adherence to theory, or an agent against it, is what I mean. I will tell you that I will never, ever, ever advocate or allow someone in my earshot in a political discussion to advocate for slavish adherence to hundreds of years old theory. I do think that there are things to be learned from it, but I think the same thing about the Bible. So put that in the correct context. Say what you want about me and the efficacy of what I do. Here I am, a little more clear-headed today, because I don't know what whipped me up into it, but I'm not saying I don't stand behind the rant I made on last night's show. I still very much do. And I think the sentiment of burn all theory is what I was going for, and not the actual fucking call to have a book burning party of all theory. Just a way of slapping people in the face that I feel are slavishly adherent to theory, and to let them know that I stand in opposition to them as a leftist, and that they have to deal with me because I'm not alone. I'm not one person off in la la land. There are tons and tons of people just like me who are hard leftists and who are done playing ping pong with the establishment, done playing Game of Thrones, done with the grand strategies that never lead to any actual improvement. We're done. And if you think that you're going to have some kind of leftist movement within or without the party, without dealing with me and without dealing with us, you have another think coming. I stand in opposition to the status quo. Say what you want about how I fucking go about doing it. I'm not claiming to be some great freedom fighter, but I spend a lot of time standing in direct opposition to the way things are and advocating for new ways and advocating for new types of thinking and liberating myself to think about things from new angles and sharing that with you guys. That's how I exist as a philosophical person. You're 40 years old. You are talking to starry-eyed, naive 20-year-olds. So the 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds and 35-year-olds and 40-year-olds that listen to me don't have agency unless they're close to my age range. They can't choose what they want to listen to. I somehow have them in my thrall or something. Like, what's the implication of that comment? I'm not useful any other way, folks. Let me just put it this way. And to reiterate a point from last night that I made in a little calmer manner. I'm often categorized politically and philosophically by other people. And I kind of eschew categorizing myself because once again, I see categorization as part of a hierarchy. And I oppose hierarchies as they exist. I think that especially in the current system, the way that hierarchies are set up, violence can flow from the top down infinitely and forever. But if it ever flows from the top up, it's verboten. I mean, I'm not on the side of the maggots that are storming the Capitol building right now, but what they're doing has horrible optics to 90% of the people in this fucking country. Because they're pushing violence back up the structure. They're taking violence down from the lowest part of the structure and they're exporting it up the structure. And that's a no-no. That's the ultimate sin. You don't do it. You always categorize yourself as a leftist. That is so broad that I don't even feel it's a categorization. It means that as of the current theory that I'm aware of, which like I said is not encyclopedic, but it's not utterly basic, I would fall somewhere on the radical political left. And that's it. That's all that infers about me, so I don't feel that is a categorization. Here is how I view myself politically as an entity. Because like I said, I am labeled by other people on an almost constant basis. I'm a doomer. I'm a fucking obstructionist. I'm a fucking overly emotional person that doesn't think critically. I'm this, I'm that. I'm an anprim. I'm this, I'm that. I'm this, I'm that. I'm constantly labeled. Here's how I think of myself. I'm an agent of agitation. I'm an agent of fracturing the status quo, fracturing hierarchies as they exist, and replacing them. And if that hierarchy that I feel is oppressing people is being advocated for by leftists, I stand in opposition to those leftists just as I would a conservative. Because they are, in my mind, aiding and abetting the status quo to continue the rape of the planet. That is how I think of myself as a political being. Extrapolate from that what you want, but that's the core. That's as simple as I can make it. Now, of course, you guys have heard a lot of my political ramblings here. You know where I stand on things. But it's all connected to that core. Everybody has an idea where they see themselves on the political sphere. I see myself as an agent of agitation. Socrates called this person a gadfly. He looked at himself as a gadfly. A gadfly in the tradition of Socrates, or at least in the writings, related to Socrates, was someone whose job it was to constantly shake people's foundations, to be opposed to anybody that was opposed to radical change, no matter what they labeled themselves, no matter what they did, no matter how they did it. I can do nothing better than to agitate. I have the beating fucking heart of a union's son. I'm the son of a union. The people in that union, to some extent, raised me. I learned from them how adults can take charge of their own lives. I learned very important lessons as a child, sitting in on those meetings. And the heart of a union member is a heart of agitation against the powers that be. I may not be able to escape hierarchies, but I can argue against them. I can't escape the current bullshit backwards political paradigm that continues to rape the planet, but I can goddamn well criticize it. I can goddamn well point out the damage that it's doing to us psychologically and the planet, ecologically. I ain't no fucking pants off fucking black bloc rebel. I wouldn't be useful for that. I'm useful as a vocal agitation force. Men like me ran unions back in the day. My father is a man like me. My father has a very, very gifted extemporaneous speech ability. And so do I. I'm not saying I'm the smartest fuck on the planet, but that's what I'm useful for as a leftist. And if you don't want to make use of me, and you don't want to allow for the fact that I'm a volatile fucking force within your movement, then you better just write off about, I don't know what the percentage is, but a good goddamn chunk of your base that you think is going to help you. Because I'm not alone. The great thing about this is there's no name that I know of for what I am, but there's a lot of people out there that think just like I do, or if not just like I do, have similar enough political philosophies that they would be in the same fucking room with me. And I know that if leftism, whatever the fuck that is going to have a fucking chance of fixing things, you need me, and you need us.
Poor Cricket got stuck in the linen closet.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, you went looking for him and you
Yeah.
found him? I heard you in there calling him.
Yeah. He got himself stuck in the linen closet. Probably when I got you that blanket last night.
No, I woke up and he was in the room with me. So it was probably when I went looking for a jacket this morning.
Yeah.
I probably looked in that closet and he slipped in there and I didn't see him and then I closed it. That's probably what happened.
He wasn't crying or nothing.
He was just like, ah, I've been in here.
Yeah,
He probably liked it.
Yeah, I just opened it. He's like, oh.
He's like, oh, okay, I can come out now. Oh my God, dude, the life of a cat. What the fuck is it? Just showing my support. Love these streams, man. By the way, you look resplendent in that light. Oh my God, dude. The camera on this phone, I think, is busted as fuck. I'm getting a new phone soon. This is an old, it's an old phone, and it's recently started doing this camera shit where it's like, dude, it's nowhere near bright enough for me to look like the ghost that I am. I'm overexposed to fucking shit. So I think the sensor in it is busted or whatever the fuck. But, yeah, I got a new phone coming soon, so hopefully that'll rectify that. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. I can put myself in black and white, and I've been staring at it, and it's bothering me. Like the silver screen one tends to help, or like this one here, the sepia shit, or this document now. The sepia one is probably the best, honestly, because at least it kind of like tones down how fucking bright everything is coming off of my face. Oh yeah, dude, I've been staring at it. And like I said, when I started doing these streams out here, it wasn't like this. So something has happened to this phone. It's like zzz, something has zip-zapped because it's kind of an overcast day. Like the sun is not beating right on my face. I wouldn't be able to have my eyes open like this if it was. It's just like I'm overexposed to shit. Yeah, it's just not adjusting properly. So my new phone will be better at doing that, I'm sure. And if I don't have to send back this phone, I may just use it to follow the chat. I may just keep it and use it as my chat phone so that I can have the other phone.
Because mine's probably less fucky than yours is.
Probably. Yeah, that's true.
And it'll be like completely bricked to just be Wi-Fi only after I get mine, so.
Also true.
Yeah, this doesn't have to go back.
1920s, Paul. I can't really do a gangster accent, but I can do the like weird transatlantic announcer accent pretty well when I get myself in the right headspace. I don't know that I'm there now, but I've launched into some hear ye, hear ye. The troops have landed. Thousands of United States troops land on the beachhead of France at Gallipoli. The Allies continue to push northward. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, Paul, can these traitors assaulting the Capitol be tried for treason and executed? They won't be. Could they be? Maybe, I guess. I have a feeling a lot of them are going to be facing charges and shit coming out of this. What those charges are, I don't think they'll be charged with treason. That's a little incendiary, but yeah, they'll probably be facing, like, you know, public destruction of property charges, disorderly conduct charges, defacing a national monument charges, maybe even terroristic threats, some of them. You know, C-SPAN about an hour ago, somebody came in here said was reporting a shooting in the Capitol. I don't know if that turned out to be bunko or not. That's the problem with this 24-hour news cycle shit. It's like in a couple of hours, it'll be a little clearer what's going on at the Capitol and people that are rapidly following every little rumor that's reported on.
What iPhone are you getting again? I think I was getting a case for you.
It's the best iPhone that you get. It's the iPhone 12 Max, I think, is what it's called. Okay. If there's such a thing.
12 Pro Max.
Pro Max. That's the phone that I got.
I just want to make sure you got one before.
Yeah, if you can find a wallet style one for me, that's what I prefer. Like one that folds over. Mm-hmm. But I'll just take a Gorilla box or whatever the hell this is, or whatever an Otter box too. If that's all that there really is for it. I've been timing out capital updates. Should I continue? I mean, just warn people. Like, yeah, and if they keep doing it, I mean, you don't gotta be a fuck. You don't gotta be all. I feel bad sometimes for the specters because they spend so much fucking time enforcing the chat, but it really does make things better. Like, it makes things actually a conversation. But yeah, I'll just say it now. I'm aware of kind of what's going on at the Capitol. I don't need constant updates on it. I do a news show live for my patrons called Flash Fried that I'll be doing today at about 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern. That's what is that Pacific?
It's 3:30.
3:30 Pacific, 4:30 Central. Probably talk about it during that. If you can wait till tomorrow to hear that, we released half of that show to everybody every week, and the other half remains a patron exclusive. So there's that.
This loop.
That looks pretty dope. Will that work for it?
Yeah.
Is that good at, like, does it have good reviews and shit?
Let's see. Looks like it does.
Just make sure it's not like, it doesn't have like bad reviews, because mine, I loved the one that I used to have for this phone. It was like that wallet fold over style of phone cover, but
I mean, it looks fine.
that's cool. As long as it's got good reviews, I'm down with it, because I got the blue iPhone, so it'll go well with it.
Kickstand you.
Well, that's what I used to do with the old one.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it so much. It was like a built-in fucking thing. I could set it on any surface and set up my fucking stream that way. That's how I did all the early Highdeology streams when this started on Periscope. I would use that wallet thing. I would set it up and just plop it on a table or plop it in front of me wherever, and it was not a big deal. It's like with this one, it's a fucking nightmare now. What do you think about George Floyd? What do I think about George Floyd? I think he was killed in the streets by the cops unnecessarily over some stupid drug shit or whatever the fuck. I think that he was the victim of police brutality, and I think the people that protested in his name were right to do so. What do you think about George Floyd? Favorite moon, planet, etc.? I love Phobos. Phobos is one of the moons of Jupiter, I believe. And I've always loved that name. Like, I might use it as an edgy internet name someday. I've always loved Phobos. Is it Mars? Thank you. Sorry, I forgot it was a Mars moon, not a Jupiter moon. Jupiter has so many goddamn fucking moons. Phobos, dude. Phobos is my favorite moon. Phobos and Deimos, yeah. Yeah. I was already corrected. People are still correcting me. Phobos is actually derived from the same root as my name, Phoebe. Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Lord Phobos. I'm sure you mentioned it before, but what was the origin of Dinor's name? So on The Drunken Peasants, a guy named Jim Ass, who is a rich businessman and benefactor of the show, revealed a drawing that he had made. That drawing was supposed to be a dog, I suppose, or supposed to be a dinosaur, and it was labeled Dinor, a legitimate misspelling, and a legitimately cartoonish and childlike drawing of what looked more like a dog than a dinosaur, with a big round asshole. It wasn't long after that I started dating someone who was a fan of The Drunken Peasants, and who, when I wanted a dog, immediately when we saw the dog, insisted that he had to be named Dinor. And all of these years later, I think she's right. I cannot imagine Dynor having a different name. I always thought at some point I'm gonna regret naming Dynor after a meme, but Dynor really transcended the meme. The meme is only a memory in the minds of the people that were fans of the show at that time, but Dynor is now Dynor. He has overtaken the meme and become the meme. And so I think it was right. I think it was the correct thing, because Dynor really is a meme. If you live with Dynor, you are so dirty. You are fucking filthy, bro.
Did you fart too?
Did you just toot?
It sounded like a fart. You had to towel you down?
Dude, we need to get those like paw dip things and try them out. I'm all for that shit. But if you want, if we have like a little tray that would fit all his feet, you could put some water in it and rinse his feet. Just get that and a towel. We could set something up out here, like a little tub for him to rinse his feet off, because that's just ridiculous, dude. Yeah, look at him. Oh my God, look at you, Denore. Look at you. Let them see your paws. Denore. Denore. Let them see your paws. Show me your belly. Can you show me your belly? Look at that. Oh my God, Dynor. Look at these paws. Look at that muzzle. You a dirty boy. Having too much fun. Having too much fun. He's a dirty boy, though. I'm so glad your little sweater ain't dirty, because you ain't at least he doesn't roll in shit, you know? I gotta give Dynor that fucking much props. At least he's not like one of those dogs that'll go out and like roll on the dirt and stinky shit. He's so dirty. He's been having fun out here. He's well and truly like kind of taken to this country dog kind of lifestyle in a way that I did not ever really expect him to. Like when he first got here, he was really confused. Yeah, you're gonna get a little foot bath. Let's see if it works. Let's see if I'm completely wrong about this. Dude, that maneuver you just pulled. D, you got to dip your foot. Go to mama. Go.
Why are you fighting it so much? Come here. Come here. Give me your foot.
All right,
Like
he's scared of the sound of it. You don't want me to just hose you off? You know what you could do?
What?
Go plug the sink.
Yeah.
And fill it with just some like lukewarm water, and then just lift him and put him in the sink.
Yeah.
He'll stand there and look pitiful, but he's had baths in the sink before, so he at least knows what that is. That was a bad idea, Dynor, and I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Screen froze. Yeah, it was just my 20% battery warning, which is coming ever and ever quicker. But I think I'm going to let it dictate when I stop the show today. So when I get my 10% battery warning, we're going to go ahead and call it for the day. That'll probably be in about 15, 20 minutes, knowing this phone's battery life. So like 5 minutes, yeah, maybe. We'll see. It's usually about 10 to go from 20 to 10, so we'll finish it up. Dynor, why you not let your mama clean you? We just want to clean off these dirty. Oh my God, dude, they're filthy. You're just gonna get a little foot bath. That's all. Well, if your feet are gonna get dirty, you may as well get them dirty now. Come on. Whoa, boomeranged it. Didn't see that coming. Come on. Come on. This is a new jacket. No, I've had this jacket for a long ass fucking time. I bought this jacket when I was in my 20s. Like my late 20s, I think. I was like 27 or some shit. I went to this like outlet place for jackets, and I saw this pea coat hanging there. And I was like, man, that looks big and comfy. And I tried it on, and it was real fucking comfy. And it was like $60 or some shit. I was like, turns out it's a really super well-made jacket. It's lined and fucking, it's like a navy pea coat, which is like, so it's very warm and comfortable to wear. And so that's what I've been wearing in the cold out here.
Let me try this too.
Oh yeah, it was just this. It was the noise of that thing sliding at him that he was like, "What the fuck is that? No, hey, you gotta dip your paws." Oh my god, look at one paw.
No, I'm gonna have to refill it.
Yeah, the problem with that. Well, you can do it from the sink right there at least. Yeah. You stay. No. You stay. Quit picking up dirt. Go on. Let's do your back ones. He's a pretty good boy with that. He's not fighting that. So that's cool. And then, yeah, you just get a towel off, and at least that's fixed. At least your filthy paws are not totally fucking filthy now. Yeah, and here comes the towel. What a good boy. Dinor is a good boy. He's just a spookily boy. Yeah, get it all dry.
Pretty filthy, but they're better.
Well, whatever. Maybe if you got like a bigger one of those tubs.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it too big though.
But no, that's way better than nothing.
Come here.
See, let her get your back leg too.
Come here. Yay.
How old is Dinor? Dinor is about to turn 6. See the Trumpers? Oh shit, Scotty just texted me about the Trumpers storming the Capitol.
Yeah. Tell him to pull what he can find.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm about to get off of this anyway, so should make a calendar for Dinor with the fans. I would buy one. Well, I tell you what, dude.
How about all the pets?
Yeah, dude. We could make a calendar with all of the pessimist pets. Because all of us have got decent cameras. Like I know Taylor has a new iPhone, which means she's got a really good phone camera. She can take some pictures of Jean-Luc. She can take a picture of Yujiro or two, a couple pictures of Jean-Luc, a couple pictures of Manson, a couple pictures of, I'm trying to remember Scotty's other cat. Scotty's got 2 cats and 2 dogs now. Andromeda? It's Andromeda.
Yeah. Dinor's not doing much better, but whatever.
Dinor, go inside. Well, you got to put him inside. He just went right on the dirt. D. Oh, man. Well, that undid everything you did, basically.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you just got to put him inside. If we're going to clean his paws, don't let him come right back out. Oh, D. He just went right back out with slightly damp paws and laid right in the dirt. Oh, man. I know you don't understand the whole point. That was human fail. Yeah, I should have done it or Mom should have done it. One of us should have caught that one. Can't blame you for that one. Is that the skeleton's name? The skeleton's name? What are you talking about? What's your favorite European country, Paul? My favorite? I don't know that I have a favorite one. The one I want to visit most is Ireland. That has a lot to do with the earliest traceable origins of my family being Northern Ireland. So I've got the genetic proof of direct lineage to Ireland, and I've got the traceable genealogical truth that leads to a very poor person that I am directly related to, and his wife, who lived in, quote, in period Ireland. So I want to go to Ireland. I want to kind of see the land of me forefathers over there. The land of me forefathers and 4 sisters. Oh, aye. a beautiful verdant place, with rolling green and emerald hills as far as the eye can see, and little leprechauns hiding in the glens, a rainbow every day. Oh, I. Who is the most talented painter in history? That ain't for me to judge. I am a professional appreciator of paintings, but as far as the art of painting and how you judge the masterwork, like for me, here's where this breaks apart. I would go like, okay, if you're gonna go purely by the amount of eyes that are on something, there's probably two dudes that you could put in the same room together if you wanted to go by that. You would put Picasso's Guernica or Starry Night. I personally would pick the Guernica. And you would pick the Mona Lisa. You'd pick Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. And you'd go like head to head, which one of these paintings is more fucking like... Because these are, you know, probably the two most famous paintings by two of the most famous painters. And the Mona Lisa, of course, if you're going to go purely by the tyranny of public opinion, would obviously give the crown to fucking Leonardo da Vinci. No painting has commanded so many people's imaginations than that one. Do I think that that means that Leonardo da Vinci was necessarily the greatest painter that ever lived? No. See, those two painters, as much as I've appreciated their works, wouldn't even be in my top three. My top three painters are, in order, starting from number one, my favorite painter of all time is Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was heavily influenced by Picasso and a number of other painters, but had his own very unique style. My second favorite painter of all time is Salvador Dali. And my third favorite painter of all time, well, I don't know, this one starts to get a little fuzzier because who cares about the third favorite anything? It's like the bronze medal. I don't know, there's a number of painters that could fit that bill. Let's just put it that way. Van Gogh. Van Gouge. Oh yeah, it was Van Gogh that did Starry Night. Yeah, we may own a Basquiat. Bought it years ago, and it has a crown and all. We're gonna get it appraised. Dope, dude. If you've got like, are you talking about like a postcard or some shit? Just know that if you've got one of his postcard-sized works, those are the most heavily fucking trafficked, heavily faked Basquiat things ever. The real ones are incredibly rare. It's thought that most of the real ones that exist have been snapped up by big name collectors. So I wouldn't get too excited, but if you've actually got a fucking Basquiat, that's amazing. Chances are you've probably got a reprinting. It's a 3.5 foot painting? Bruh. I gotta tell you, dude, Basquiat was one of the most fucking imitated and forged painters in modern American history. There are more forgeries than there are real Basquiats in the world, just like there are with any other painter. So you just gotta be, but dude, if you've got a 3.5 foot sized fucking painting and it's a Basquiat, you've got a multi-million-dollar piece of art. No, I'm dead ass fucking serious. Sotheby's will be on the fucking phone with you immediately if that shit gets verified as an actual Basquiat. His shit goes immediately and commands high prices, and that is a big piece of Basquiat art. There's not a lot of that shit floating around, if any at all. So if it's real, more power to you, dude. I would love to have a fucking Basquiat in my house. I would love to have his Guernica in my house, but that's in a fucking museum and always will be. It's the most interesting time ever, Paul. Stop streaming and turn on the news. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You stop watching my stream and telling me what the fuck to do. Can somebody ban that idiot, please? Tell me how to consume my fucking news, bitch. I'm about to cover this whole fucking shit in about an hour and a half, so eat a dick. Oh, the world is... All I know how to do is watch the CNN live feed. Fucking alarmist piece of shit. Terminated. Yeah, the nukes are flying, gentlemen. Hallelujah. Stevie's the on-site correspondent. There's a bunch of people trying to get into the, I think it's one of the buildings here in Washington. And, it looks like they're Trump supporters. And, I remember Daryl Sheets on the Storage Wars found genuine Picasso pen and ink drawings in a storage locker. I mean, shit does happen. I'm not saying, like, I'm just saying don't get your fucking hopes up. Basquiat is one of the most fucking plagiarized artists in the world. One of the most fucking forged artists. There are tons of fakes, especially, like, I thought you were going to tell me you had one of his postcards, which are incredibly rare and command an incredibly high price when they do turn up. And he did pass out a lot of them, but they're like a fucking, you know, hen's tooth or some shit. Like a needle in a haystack type of shit. Like most art collectors that I've looked at say they don't even fucking exist really anymore. All of them are in private collections or publicly viewable collections now. But early on in Basquiat's career, he was a street kid basically, and he made postcard collage art out of, you know, Castaway magazines, which are all over New York City, Castaway newspapers, and, you know, little ripped up pieces of flyers and shit. And he made these amazing multimedia collages that were all about the size of a postcard, and he would hand them out to people and that he liked, and sell them on the street for $10 a pop or $5 a pop or whatever he could get for them. And the people that snapped them up at that time, and you got to keep it in mind too that this is in the '80s where $5 is, you know, that's asking a lot of money. $5 in the '80s is not $5 now. But, you know, that's how he made it. There were people that would look at these things and go, all right, man, I'll give you $10 for this. One of those people was fucking, what's his name? I'm gonna brain fart his fucking name. I'm always terrible with goddamn names. Fucking giant artist used to do the goddamn soup cans. Like, that's one of his most famous paintings is just, yeah, Andy Warhol, right? So Andy Warhol was had an early run-in with Jean-Michel. Jean-Michel saw him in a restaurant and just kind of snuck his way in there and said, hey, man, I want to give these to you. Warhol loved them and ended up working with Jean-Michel Basquiat. They did an amazing kind of like portrait off of one another, where Jean-Michel did a portrait of Andy and Andy did a portrait of Jean-Michel, and they're amazing pieces of art. So they were a real fertile creative collaboration. And yeah, I absolutely love Jean-Michel Basquiat. And if I was ever like a multi-fucking billionaire or something, that's probably something I would splurge on. It's like if there was ever an opportunity to buy a good-sized Basquiat and money was no object, I'd probably want to have that in my house, you know. Speaking of art, what do you think of private art collections? To me, something seems wrong about rich people hiding away art. Yeah, I agree. I don't really like the idea that a lot of Basquiat's work is locked behind private doors and shit, but that's just the truth of it. I do want to give credit where it's due. A lot of private collectors allow the public to, or at least, before COVID and shit, allowed the public limited access and would allow them to view and would routinely donate that that whole collection to local museums or to museums that weren't local. They'd contract it out. And so a lot of rich people don't just hoard away all the paintings so that nobody gets to ever see the paintings. There are a lot of works out there that are parts of private collections that, tour around and at least allow people the option to appreciate them, which I can at least fucking get with. I would do the same. If I owned a fucking giant Basquiat, there's no way I would keep that to myself. That's too much beauty for one person to own. You know what I mean? So I would have it in my house for a month out of the year, and then I'd put it in the museum for the rest of the year or some shit. Well, that's it. 10% warning. Sorry, guys. Gotta go. We'll do this again sometime, though. It was fun.